Las Vegas, Nevada, June 22, 1996, MGM Grand Garden Arena. The first major exhibition fight after Mike Tyson walked out of the Indiana Youth Center, a free man. 15,000 seats sold out in under 4 hours. Scalpers outside were charging $2,000 for a standing room ticket. The air inside the arena was thick enough to taste. Cuban cigar smoke hanging like fog, expensive French perfume mixed with spilled Dom Perignon, the sharp metallic scent of nervous sweat, and that unmistakable electric charge that only Vegas on a Tyson night can produce. Neon lights pulsed red and gold across the ceiling. Massive spotlights carved perfect white beams through the haze. The roar of 15,000 voices was already deafening before the first fighter even appeared. This wasn't a pay-per-view title fight. This was something bigger. This was the return of the baddest man on the planet after 3 years in prison. The world wanted to see if prison had broken Iron Mike, or if he was still the monster they remembered. In the red corner stood the man who had spent the last 6 months telling anyone who would listen that Mike Tyson was finished. Ray the Razor Coleman, former WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, 42 wins, 3 losses, 31 knockouts. Retired in 1992 after a brutal war with a young up-and-comer, but never really left the game. He trained fighters in a small gym in South Central Los Angeles, stayed in fighting shape, and kept that same lightning jab and iron chin that once made him one of the most feared technicians in the division. 6 feet 1 inch, 185 pounds of lean, wiry muscle. Sharp features, shaved head, cold, calculating eyes. In the press conferences leading up to this exhibition, Coleman had been ruthless. On ESPN, "Tyson's done. Prison broke him. 3 years behind bars, no real fights, no real sparring. He's old, he's slow, and he's scared. I'll dance around him for 3 rounds and make the so-called Iron Mike look like yesterday's newspaper." On a popular radio show, "The myth is over, baby. I'm not afraid. I'm going to prove to the entire world that Mike Tyson is finished. He can thank me later for exposing the truth." The quotes spread like wildfire. Boxing forums exploded. Some fans agreed. Most laughed and called Coleman crazy. But Coleman believed every word. At 38 years old, he needed the payday, the spotlight, and the chance to say he was the man who exposed the greatest heavyweight of his generation, even if it was just an exhibition. The night of the fight, the tension in the MGM Grand was unbearable. Promoters had billed it as the return, proof he's still king. Don King was ringside in a custom red suit, gold chain swinging, whispering into phones. Celebrities filled the first 3 rows. Magic Johnson, Denzel Washington, Tupac Shakur in a black bandana, Evander Holyfield watching quietly from the second row. 15,000 people screaming for blood. The lights dropped. The familiar bass line hit. "Here comes the bad guy." Mike Tyson walked out. Black robe with the holes cut in the sleeves, black trunks with white lettering, black shoes, no socks. Gold chain with the fist pendant resting against his chest. Face completely expressionless, eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses until the very last second. The arena exploded. 15,000 voices became one thunderous roar. The floor shook. Grown men were screaming like teenagers. Tyson climbed the steps, ducked through the ropes, removed the robe. He looked exactly the same as he did before prison, maybe even leaner, harder. Prison hadn't broken him. It had sharpened him into something quieter, something more dangerous. Ray the Razor Coleman bounced in his corner, smirking, shadowboxing, trying to look confident. The referee called both men to the center. 3 rounds, exhibition rules. Light contact preferred, but everyone in the building knew neither man would hold back completely. They touched gloves. Coleman smirked wider. Tyson stared straight through him. No emotion, no words. Just that famous dead-eyed glare that had ended careers. Bell for round 1. Coleman came out fast and sharp. Classic outfighter. Jab, jab, hook, circling on the balls of his feet, using his superior hand speed. He landed the first 2 jabs clean, stinging shots that snapped Tyson's head back slightly. The crowd murmured, "He's hitting him." Tyson didn't chase. He walked forward slowly, peekaboo guard high, head moving just enough to make Coleman miss the bigger shots. Coleman pressed harder. Combination to the body, then a sharp right cross. Tyson slipped the cross, rolled under the hook, and fired a short left hook to the ribs. Coleman felt it. Air left his lungs for half a second. The round ended with Coleman winning on activity, but he returned to his corner breathing a little heavier than he expected. "He's slow," Coleman told his trainer. "I've got this." Round 2. Coleman came out even more aggressive, double jab to set up the right cross. He was trying to prove his point to the world, that the old Tyson was gone. Tyson absorbed 2 more jabs, then slipped the cross beautifully, pivoted, and landed a short right hand to the body that made Coleman's knees buckle for a split second. The crowd roared. Mid-round, Coleman threw a 4-punch combination. Tyson weaved, ducked, rolled, pure Cus D'Amato defense. Then he countered with a left uppercut to the body that landed with a sickening thud. Coleman grimaced and backed off, circling again. By the end of round 2, the smirk on Coleman's face was gone. He could feel the power. He could feel the timing. Tyson wasn't rushing. He was waiting, patient, like a predator who already knew how the hunt would end. Round 3. Coleman came out desperate to prove something. He threw everything, jab, right cross, left hook, trying to keep Tyson at range. Tyson waited. Coleman overcommitted on a big right cross. Tyson saw it coming the moment Coleman's shoulder twitched. He slipped outside the punch, pivoted on his lead foot, dropped his right hand low, and exploded upward. One single, perfect uppercut. The sound of leather on chin echoed through the entire arena. Coleman's head snapped straight back. His legs turned to rubber. He dropped to one knee, then collapsed face first onto the canvas. The crowd went completely insane, then suddenly hushed. The referee started counting, but Mike Tyson didn't wait. He dropped to one knee beside Coleman, grabbed him under the arms, lifted the former champion gently to his feet, and wrapped him in a tight embrace right there in the center of the ring. 15,000 people lost their minds. The roar that followed was different, not bloodthirsty, but respectful. They had come to see destruction. They witnessed something rarer, mercy. Post-fight, in the locker room, no cameras, no microphones, just 2 warriors. Ray the Razor Coleman sat on the bench, head in his hands, tears streaming down his face. His jaw was swollen, his pride was shattered. Mike Tyson walked in still wearing his trunks and gloves. He sat down beside him quietly. Coleman looked up, voice cracking. "I thought I knew how to fight you, Mike. I studied every tape. I had a perfect plan. I really believed I could outbox you tonight, expose you, prove the world right. I was wrong. 1 punch, 1 goddamn punch, and everything I thought I knew disappeared." Tyson looked at him for a long moment. Then he spoke in that low, calm voice the world would later quote for decades. "Everybody's got a plan, brother, until they get hit in the mouth. You got hit tonight, hard, but you got up. That's what matters. Get up, learn, keep going. That's how we become better men, not just better fighters." Coleman nodded, wiping tears. They embraced again. No cameras, no crowd. Just 2 fighters who understood something most people never will. What happened next became legend in boxing circles. Ray the Razor Coleman never fought professionally again. He closed his old gym in Los Angeles and opened a new one in South Central, Razor's Edge Academy. He trained hundreds of young fighters. Some became Olympians, some became world champions. Every single one of them heard the same story on day 1. "I fought Mike Tyson in 1996. I trash-talked him for months. I thought I had the perfect plan. 1 uppercut changed everything. But instead of standing over me, he picked me up. He hugged me. He taught me more in 30 seconds than my entire career taught me. That's who Mike Tyson really is." Mike Tyson went on to win the WBA heavyweight title later that year, but those who were inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena that June night in 1996 still say the real fight wasn't the 3 rounds. It was the hug. It was the locker room conversation. It was the moment a younger fighter showed an older one that respect matters more than victory. Las Vegas, June 1996, MGM Grand Garden Arena, 15,000 witnesses, 3 rounds, 1 perfect uppercut, 1 quiet hug, and 1 lesson that still echoes through every boxing gym in the world today. The greatest victory isn't knocking a man down, it's helping him stand up taller than he was before. When ego dies in the ring, respect is born, and that respect lasts longer than any championship belt ever could. End.